Hi, this is Farrell. Welcome to my video and YouTube channel. And I took a break. I don't know if you noticed, but I happened to take like 3 or 4 weeks, something like that, since I recorded my last video. And same thing with my Patreon. I've been kind of off my Patreon for a little while, but planning to get back into it this week, hopefully today. So you can see I didn't really do a video of me starting it this time or a little title card or anything. You just saw those rough pencils and kind of more refined pencils. I was kind of not in feeling the mood to take videos, so I was just sort of like penciling it when I could. And the reason this spread took me so long, besides all the little detail in the drawing, a lot of it had to do with the writing. Like I kept changing the dialogue. The first issue I have pretty much all written out already, so it was a little easier. And there wasn't a lot of dialogue in that first issue. It was mostly visual stuff. So this one, there's going to be a little more. And I figured since it's like the first introduction of Fern to these characters, like in person, like they're in the same space in the comic now for the first time, that there would be more exposition or like little intro dialogue. So that's why these 2 pages are so text heavy, and a big reason why it took me so long to do. I kept changing it and like just kind of stopping and staring at the page, and even to the last minute where I had the little sound effect of the gun, I changed that a bunch of times. I had it saying something originally, and then I just turned it into like a beep beep or something. You can see too that I have like a bunch of shells flying out of the gun, and then I realized as I was doing the pages, like I don't want to show her shooting that many of these gremlins. I just don't want to draw that. And also too, it's like I didn't want her just firing a bunch of bullets indiscriminately. Like I wanted her to be like a dead shot with her gun. So every bullet fired counted. And so I wanted to do a little count of all the bullets. So I put them in that little sidebar there, how many gremlins were killed by which type of gun that she used. Because her gun switches into these different type, like it's like a sniper rifle, and then it turns into like more of like a automatic kind of machine gun, and then turns into like even like a shorter kind of like mini machine gun for like close range. And so she has like probably the most like tech of all these guys. I mean, other than Todd, who just is tech. Like her gun can change. Fern's gun can change into different guns, and her skateboard can like do crazy stuff. And yeah, so I guess that's like the tech that she has there. and Robotag can do just about anything he wants. Yeah, so yeah, here I'm using this Raphaël 8404 number 3. I used to use number 4s, but this size is number 3 just because started to feel like a little too clunky, the 4. I don't know if I'm just getting old or what, but it just was harder to get like a fine point on it. So yeah, there you can see I just painted all the little slug guys, that pink purple thing, and I'm leaving the little guys, little gremlins, sort of translucent and white. And that's the first Monstober drawing, and the second one that I've done this month, October drawings, a ghost and a wolf. And you can go on my Instagram and see I posted a list on one of them. And here I'm doing the Frankenstein's monster, which was the third one. But yeah, there's like a list on Instagram of all the monsters, the 31 monsters. And me and my partner are going to have a show of all these. Like she's doing 31 and I'm doing 31. And we're going to have a show hopefully by January at a local show at Floating World Comics, hopefully if all goes well. Yeah, you can see a couple of books on my desk too. There's that Robert McGinnis paperback cover book, which is really great reference for like poses for covers and stuff. It's better to take your own photo reference, but for stuff like this, just like quick little things, I felt like it would be kind of like inspiring just to look through there and get some ideas. But I actually didn't base this pose on anything. I just sort of made it up. And then 40 Days in the Desert, the newer edition of that Mobius book, which I love and look at that all the time just for inspiration. But right now they're just on my desk as sort of like support for that drawing board that I have up. Haven't actually been looking at those books too much. And you can see my cat made an appearance in this part, and there he is again. So yeah, we just made a list of just all the monsters we could think of. There's probably like another Monstober list, or maybe there's a few floating around, but this, there's the Frankenstein's monster. This was just our trying to think of every kind of major monster and then just doing our own. There's sort of like a let the right one in vampire and a ghoul. I kind of wish I had done some kind of more of a hook on that. I just sort of, and same thing with the witch. I just sort of kind of, first idea that came to me, I just sort of started drawing it without thinking about it too much, just because I wanted to get it done. But this looks like pretty much the finish of the page, the spread here. I have, oh yeah, there's the last one that I've done of the Monstobers. And here's page 2, Robot Todd issue 2. All lettered up and pretty much, you know, I see I wrote on the side margin there some extra letters. That's just because, like, when after I've erased and cleaned up the page and I'm ready to scan it, I look at it, all the lettering, and see if it's legible or not. I'm like, okay, that probably could use some work. And so rather than fixing it while I'm scanning it or doing it in Photoshop, I just, I mean, I am going to do it in Photoshop, but I just write it on the side of the margins, like a nicer version of the letter, and then I'll fix it in Photoshop, you know, like move it over to so it still has like my hand quality without looking like I'm just using like a Wacom pen or using a font or whatever. But okay, so that's the video for this time. It's a little short, a little lacking in video, but I'll be back next week and with a proper video. I'm going to start going back to my 20 minutes a day on this thing again. All right, thanks for watching this. I have a Patreon, Feral Dow, and I will see you soon.